It's been a full calendar year since my future sister-in-law got fired from the office where I work, and she is still telling people I did it on purpose, that I had it out for her, that I'm not the person I pretend to be. She was there for 3 months, had full training, a 2-week shadow period, written guides for every task. She made repeated mistakes, pushed back every time someone corrected her, walked out on our boss mid-conversation, and then talked down to me, the person who had been trying to help her when I couldn't see her screen, and said, I didn't know. I went to my boss, said I needed to stop working directly with her, that I couldn't keep fixing things downstream from her and still do my own job. I did not ask him to fire her. He fired her the next day. Now it's a year later. I'm marrying her brother this fall. She's going to be at the wedding, and the story she's been telling is still circling through rooms I can't enter. My name is Macon, and I need to put the real version somewhere. My fiancé is Derek, and his older sister, 35, 4 years on me, is Ashley. Before all of this, I genuinely liked Ashley, or I was building toward liking her. She had an edge to her, but it read as confidence, and I respected confidence. I thought we had the foundations of something workable. Then she started working in my office. I want to be clear about a few things up front, because Ashley's version skips them entirely. I did not hire her. I did not refer her for the position. Someone else in the company mentioned the opening to her, and she applied and got it through the normal process. She started, went through onboarding, sat alongside an experienced person for 2 weeks, and received written step-by-step guides for every recurring task. I was a point of contact when she had questions. That was it. I wasn't her supervisor. I wasn't her manager. I was just the coworker she knew. The problems surfaced fast. She sent documents out with formatting errors, not once, repeatedly after being shown, after having the guide in front of her. She missed information in emails. She sent things before they were ready. Other people, including me, spent time catching and undoing what should have been right the first time. In a small office, that adds up quickly. It becomes the texture of every day. The interpersonal piece was slower to name, but just as real. When anyone tried to correct Ashley, she pushed back, not to clarify, to deflect. Our boss asked her once to fix the wording in a document before it went out. She said she didn't write the original wording. He said that wasn't the point. She said someone else could fix it later. He said again that also wasn't the point. Things needed to leave the office correctly the first time. She stood up and walked out. Came back a few minutes later, sat down, didn't say anything. Neither did he, but the whole room felt it. What pushed me over personally was smaller than any of that, which might be why it hit harder. Ashley had come to me with the same task question multiple times. Same task, different days. I'd walked her through it, sent her to the guide, answered the same variations more than once. That day, she asked again, and somewhere in the middle of explaining, I said I didn't know the answer to one specific thing because I genuinely couldn't see her screen. She said, "So you don't know." Flat, not a question, a verdict. The tone said, "You've been pretending to help me, and you can't even answer a basic question." I didn't react. I finished what I was saying and turned back to my own work. But something had closed in me. I'd been patient. I had tried, genuinely tried, and that single sentence, said like she was talking to someone who'd been wasting her time, told me everything I needed to know about how she saw the dynamic. The next afternoon, I went to my boss. I thought carefully about what I said. I told him I didn't have a problem with Ashley working there, that I wasn't trying to make things difficult, but that I couldn't keep being the person absorbing her repeated questions and cleaning up after the same types of errors. I said I'd rather just focus on my own work and step back from helping her directly. I did not say fire her. Not once, not between the lines, not implied. He thanked me, said he understood. The next morning, Ashley was let go. I wasn't in that room. I didn't know it was going to happen when it did. When I found out, my first feeling wasn't satisfaction or relief. It was a slow drop in my stomach, because I knew immediately what was coming. Ashley called Derek within hours. She told me I'd gone to the boss and gotten her fired, that I spoke to her like an idiot, that there had been something going on the whole time that people didn't know about. Derek came to me first. I'll give him that. He asked my side before he said anything. I told him exactly what I told our boss, word for word, as close as I could get to it. I hadn't asked for any specific outcome. The decision was our boss's, made with everything he'd already seen for 3 months. Derek believed me. He still does. But belief doesn't dissolve the drama Ashley had already set into motion. She told his parents, she told cousins, she told people I'd never met. She used the phrase, spoke to her like an idiot, more than once. She said people don't know what really went on. And the one that keeps coming back to me, she's not the person she portrays herself to be. That sentence has been in rooms I can't enter for a year. I thought about whether I could have done something differently, whether because she was going to be family, I owed her a different kind of protection, whether I should have spoken to her directly before I went to our boss. Maybe that's the honest answer. Maybe I should have tried. But I also remember what that "so you don't know" felt like after weeks of the same cycle. The deflections, the pushback, the walking out. By the time I got to our boss's door, I wasn't sure there was a direct conversation to be had that would have landed any better. I still don't think telling my boss I needed to step back was wrong. I think I was telling him the truth about my experience. What he chose to do with it was his call, made with a full picture of everything he'd been watching for 3 months. Ashley lost a job she wasn't performing well in and found a reason outside herself for why that happened. I understand why that's easier. I understand it doesn't make her feel better to look at the documents, the errors, the walkouts, the guides she didn't use. But I can't keep carrying her version of events as if it's a debt I owe her. It's been a year. Ashley and I don't speak. At family events, we move around each other in the careful way people do when the conversation is over and neither side's ready to admit it. Derek runs interference when he has to. He's tired of it, same as me. We're getting married this fall. Ashley is going to be at the wedding, and I've made peace with that, mostly. My wedding is not going to be a referendum on what happened in that office. It's going to be the day I marry Derek, and I'm not giving Ashley the real estate in my head that she's been renting for free. What I know, what I keep coming back to, is this. I told the truth. I told my boss exactly what I was experiencing and asked to step back from a dynamic that wasn't working. I didn't engineer an outcome. I reported a reality. She didn't lose the job because of me. She lost it because of what management had already been watching, and I happened to be the last thing that moved before it happened. That's not the same as causing it. I just can't make her see that, and at some point that stops being my problem to solve. Update posted a few hours later. Someone asked whether Derek has talked to Ashley directly about stopping the narrative. He has, more than once. She doesn't receive it well. She believes what she believes, and at this point it's less about the facts and more about needing someone to have been responsible for what happened to her. Someone asked if I regret going to my boss at all. Some days, briefly, yes. Not because I think I was wrong, but because of the cost. The cost to Derek's family, the space it's taken up in our relationship, the energy it has consumed. But then I remember the alternative was continuing to do her work for her indefinitely while she talked to me like I was in the way. That wasn't sustainable either. Someone asked what happens when Ashley takes a scene at the wedding. I don't think she will. Despite everything, she's not someone who wants to be seen doing that. She'll be there on her best behavior, and we'll both know exactly what we know. And then I'll go dance with my husband. That's the plan anyway.